you think they can win the Europa League this year? They play Bodo Glimt in the semis. They get through, they'll play either Athletic Bilbao or Manchester United in Bilbao. How would you rank those teams in your view of their likelihood to win the competition? Would you make Spurs favourites? Would you say they're second, third, fourth?
I don't know if they are more favourites than Bodo Glimt or not. They obviously should be, but Bodo Glimt at home and Spurs on any given day are like really, really odd beasts to kind of put into a category of how good they are or should be. I personally think the winner comes from the other semi-final, and I'm sticking with Athletic Club for that. I think there's a lot more to that team than there is to United when maybe he reassessed that because of what happened obviously in the last round with United, but generally speaking, I think there's a lot more of the mentality side for if it gets to really big moments, really tough moments for Athletic. Plus, they have the motivating factor of playing at home in the final, obviously, effectively. So I'm going to stick with the winner from that final, from that semi-final, I should say. And I would probably make Athletic favourites for it, but I'm perfectly aware that may well be my own bias imparting there.
Yeah, no, look, I think any neutral that doesn't have any skin in the game would want them to win for a multitude of reasons. Primarily, like their approach to how they run the club, like the fact that they only take players from their region who've got a deep connection to their region, whose footballing education came in that region. I think that's incredibly admirable that they still do that. Like Real Sociedad did it for a long time as well, and then I think it was when John Toshak was there, they stopped doing it and they started to sign overseas. I think initially they started to sign players from other regions of Spain, but they would only sign Spanish players. And then when Toshak, I think, went there, they started to sign overseas players, and now they'll sign anybody. Whereas Bilbao, like, they still stick to this very strict rule, and yet they're still really competitive in domestic competition. That they could well finish fourth this year. They've won a cup recently. They've been to other finals, and now they're in a European semi-final. So there's that aspect, and then there's the aspect of the final is in their stadium, and what an incredible moment it would be for any club, not just them, but any club, to win a European trophy in front of what will be primarily their own fans. Like, regardless of what allocation UEFA give, the Bilbao locals are finding ways to get as many tickets as possible and make that place a home game for that one.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, Spurs should be among the favourites for this. Even among the teams that are left, Spurs should be at least second favourites or very, very close to second favourites. There's no real reason for them not to be, except how they've been this year. And while they have got players back now, that injury crisis that they had earlier on this season, what we spoke about, and we kind of gave them a bit of a pass for quite a while over it. Like, a lot of that is done now. Like, they haven't got the lengthy list that they had done before. Dragusin and potentially Son, I think, is basically all they're missing. And they're still really inconsistent. Now, obviously, part of that is going to be the season as a whole has weighed on them and the confidence is gone. And let's be honest, probably the manager is gone and the players know that. And we all know what happens when that's the case. But even so, their performances have been wildly erratic. Like winning away to Eintracht and getting battered by Wolves. Only narrowly losing to Chelsea, but then, looking quite good in other games as well. I don't know. They're obviously not a good side. They're obviously not a mentally strong side. They've obviously had a terrible, terrible season across the board. I did see one stat earlier on this week that suggested if Liverpool stopped playing it on Christmas Day and everyone else carried on, well, we'd still have more points than Spurs for this season, which kind of sums things up really for them, for their year. There shouldn't really be much in the way of competition in this particular match. Spurs' away form is one of the worst in the entire league for the season as a whole. Our home form is obviously the best in the Premier League for the season as a whole. So there isn't really anything technical, tactical, or mental which should prevent anything other than Spurs being beaten again this weekend. And especially, I suppose, when you factor in, it isn't a factor for the players, but we make it a factor for us to talk about and so on, and the fans and the rest of it, that Spurs aren't going to put in their best performance of the season so that their biggest rivals get a prolonged stay of execution in the title race. It doesn't make any difference. We know that. And for the players, it's not going to make any difference, but it's still a thing, isn't it? And this Spurs side are way, way, way below where they should be. Probably, if you look at the form guide across that bottom sort of 3-4 teams outside of the relegation zone now, they're the worst there now. Like West Ham are 1 point behind them, and it wouldn't be a surprise if Tottenham finished just above the drop zone this year, which is beyond dismal.
Yeah. I mean, they've taken 4 points from their last 7 league matches. And even if we take into account the 3-game winning run they had in February, you're still, since we hammered them, since we hammered them on the 22nd of December, they won their previous game. They went to Southampton and won 5-0. We beat them. They lose 6 of 7. They take 1 point from 7 games. Then they win 3 in a row. So now you're looking at 10 points from 10 games. And then 4 points from the last 7. That is 14 points from 17 games. That is embarrassing by anyone's standards.
You want to see a bit of context? Like that is terrible form. And across the course of the season, that's 31 points and you probably get relegated. But this season, the Premier League bottom 3 have been so bad that they still wouldn't be in the relegation zone.
Yeah. But this is the thing. Like, it's not just them, it's United as well. It's Wolves, although Wolves, bizarrely, the most informed team in the league with 5 straight wins. And it's the team that most people have forgotten to include in this debate about the most disappointing team. It's West Ham as well. Like, they're just really, really fortunate that the 3 clubs that came up last season simply haven't been good enough at this level. Yeah. Otherwise, this would be a relegation scrap for Spurs. And what's really odd, Karl, so you mentioned how you think they're a mentally weak team, and I think that nails it, because in the Premier League this season, Tottenham have 33 games played, 11 wins, 4 draws, 18 defeats. But they've got a plus 10 goal difference. That's better than Aston Villa, who are 7th. But what's really funny is in those 18 defeats, do you want to guess how many of them are by more than 1 goal?
A dozen?
3. We beat them 6-3. Fulham beat them 2-0. And Wolves beat them 4-2. And every other defeat is by 1 goal. Newcastle beat them 2-1. Arsenal beat them 1-0. Brighton beat them 3-2. Palace beat them 1-0. Ipswich beat them at home 2-1. Bournemouth beat them 1-0. Chelsea beat them 4-3. Forest beat them 1-0. Newcastle beat them 2-1. Arsenal beat them 2-1. Everton beat them 3-2. Leicester beat them 2-1, again at home. City beat them 1-0. Chelsea beat them 1-0. And Forest beat them 2-1. 15 defeats. 15 defeats by 1 goal. That is the sign of a mentally weak team who just do not have the fortitude to really dig in and fight. It's one thing losing if you just get dominated. But if you're losing close games so frequently, that is a massive, massive issue. There's no fight in this team. And I think you're right. I think the players know Ange is gone. And I think they've known for a while that Ange is gone. And if it wasn't for this Europa League run, Ange would absolutely be out the door already. But I think even if he wins the Europa League, Carl, I still think he has to go.
I mean, I agree, but I also think if he wins it, he would go and just say, I've won this for you. The players have not performed in the league. I'm leaving you with them, and I'm taking the trophy. And I wouldn't blame him for that either, to be honest.
No, neither would I. Neither would I. And it would be great for him, if he could win a European. Like, I love Ange. I want Ange back at Celtic this summer. I'm hoping Rodgers pisses off and goes somewhere. Chelsea, if you sack Maresca, Brendan Rodgers should be your man. You take him, we'll take Ange back. Everybody's happy. The thing is, with this Spurs team squad, like it's a really strong squad in a lot of ways. Like goalkeepers, Vicario's good to very good, depending on his mood. Kinski looks a really promising young keeper that they bought in January. And Fraser Forster as a third choice is fine. At right back, you've got Porro and Spence. That's about as good a right back situation as anyone in the league has. Left back, I think Udogie is really good. He's still very young, but he's really good. They need a backup there. But centre back, you've got Romero and Van de Ven. When fit, both outstanding. Both have missed big chunks, obviously. Dragusin I like, and Danzo's good. So that's a really strong group of centre backs. They probably want one more, but they do own Ashley Phillips and they do have Vuskovic coming in. So their centre back situation is set. Like that whole defence, you buy a decent backup left back, you're good to go for next season. In midfield, you've got Basuma, you've got Sarr, you've got Bentancur, you've got Gray, and you've got Bergvall. For a two-man midfield, to have 5 good options like that, that's really strong. In the number 10 position, they can call on Madison or Kulusevski. That's a really good midfield group. And then in attack, you've got Solanke and Richarlison as the backup, and he is what he is. You probably want to sell him and get someone else in. In the wide areas, though, you've got Son, Tell, Brennan Johnson, Odegaard, and Kulusevski can play out there. Like, from a squad point of view, they're not all that far away from having a really good group. It's just, there seems to be a bit of a lack of leadership in the squad. There's a lack of mental fortitude in the squad. And I think Ange's tactical approach has just been too naive and not put enough accountability on the players. At times, I struggle to think of Ange actually coming out and being really honest about the fact that, sometimes it's just the players. That's a lot of managers will do that. They'll just throw themselves in front of the players. They'll take the blame. They'll deflect. Ange likes to turn it around and have a go at the media. He likes to blame this, that, and the other, and he won't blame the players. But I think for that group of players to be where they are, I think that's absolutely embarrassing, because that's undoubtedly one of the 4 or 5 best squads in the Premier League, in my view.
All right, the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts, and even Liverpool legends along the way. With the great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to AnfieldIndex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at AnfieldIndexPro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that, from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.